When you see a spider web, what's the first thing you think of? An elegant, intricate trap, right? I mean, it's a marvel of natural engineering, for sure. But still a trap. Well, it turns out science is revealing a much, much deeper story that's been hidden in plain sight this whole time.
What if every single one of those beautiful silk strands isn't just for catching a meal, but for sending and receiving messages? I mean, what if the entire web is a living communication network, just humming with a silent language that we're only now starting to figure out?
Because that is the incredible reality. Spiders are far from just being passive hunters waiting for a buzz. Nope. They use their webs to have complex conversations. They're out there broadcasting warnings, invitations, even territorial claims, all through the medium of silk.
So how on earth is this even possible? Well, the secret isn't in sound the way you and I think about it. It's all about the physics of vibration. Spiders have basically turned their entire world into an extension of their own senses.
This is the key concept right here: vibrational communication. So instead of sound waves traveling through the air, information travels as these tiny physical tremors through the web itself. It's almost like a form of touch-based hearing that covers their entire home.
And spiders are perfectly built for this. I mean, their legs are covered in these specialized hairs and receptors that can pick up on the tiniest little shiver. Every single thread acts like a nerve ending, feeding information directly back to the spider, turning the entire web into a massive sensory organ.
And the level of sophistication here is just wow. A spider isn't just reacting to any old movement. It can actually tell the difference between the random, low-frequency vibration of the wind, which, it just ignores, and the sharp, high-frequency struggle of a trapped fly, which basically screams, "Dinner is served."
And get this is not passive listening. Spiders are active participants. They physically tune their webs, kind of like how a guitarist tunes a string. They'll pluck a thread, feel how that vibration travels, and then they'll tighten or loosen certain strands to make sure their messages are sent and received with perfect clarity. It is absolutely intentional and incredibly precise.
Okay, so if they're tuning their webs and sending out all these messages, the big question is, what are they actually saying? This is where it goes from just vibrations to something that looks a whole lot like a real language.
And the messages are surprisingly complex. You've got a courting male who sends these rhythmic, gentle pulses to basically announce, "Hey, I'm here as a mate, please don't eat me." Then you have a resident spider defending its turf who will send out this sharp, aggressive thrumming as a clear, back-off warning. And some spiders even get sneaky, creating these shivers that mimic a broken, safe part of the web to lure others into a trap.
I mean, think about it. For a male spider who is approaching a female's web, this is not just about finding a partner. One wrong signal, just one misinterpreted vibration, and he could very easily be mistaken for prey. The stakes literally could not be higher.
Yeah, this isn't some casual chat. It's a critical survival tool. That male spider's rhythmic plucking on the web is the only thing that separates him from becoming lunch. It's the only thing that says, "I'm a suitor, not food."
And it gets even more fascinating. Scientists have actually observed some species using what they call sonic deception. They create vibrations that fool other insects into thinking the web is just, a bunch of twigs or a safe place to land. It's a perfectly executed ambush using the language of lies. Amazing.
So when you step back and you look at this whole system, it's really hard not to see a parallel to our own technology, right? What we're really looking at is a kind of biological internet built millions of years before we ever conceived of our own.
That's really what it is. Each web is its own self-contained data network. All this information about food, about danger, about potential mates, it's all being transmitted efficiently across its structure, powered by nothing more than the simple physics of vibration.
And when you compare it to our tech, nature's design is just astonishingly elegant. The spider's network is self-powered and completely biodegradable. It uses simple silk where we use complex electronics and wires. It's a total masterclass in efficiency that engineers are now studying very, very closely.
And this isn't just theoretical stuff. This research is inspiring real-world innovation. Just imagine ultra-sensitive sensors in buildings that can detect structural stress just like a spider feels a tremor. Or what about robots that can communicate through vibrations in places where radio signals can't reach? It's happening.
Ultimately, what we learn from all this goes way beyond just spiders. It really forces us to reconsider our whole perception of the natural world.
We have this image of spiders as isolated, solitary creatures, right? But this research completely reframes that. They're not just hunters. They are active, intelligent participants in a constant, complex, and totally invisible dialogue with their environment and with each other.
This quote just captures the sense of wonder perfectly. We walk through a world that we think is silent, but it's actually buzzing with conversations that we just don't have the senses to perceive. And through science, we're finally starting to tune in.
So the next time you see a web glistening in the sun, just pause for a second. Don't just see a trap. Try to see a stage for a high-stakes drama, a territorial dispute, a courtship dance, all of it playing out in a language of whispers on the web. What do you think you'll hear?